SRC, huh?
Yep. We're all playing for Team Pulse now.
Welcome to Final Fantasy XIII SRC. Now, if you don't know what SRC stands for, it stands for Secondary Roles Challenge, or something along those lines. And what that means is I only use the secondary roles part of the Chrystarium. Obviously, for the first half of the game, we don't have those roles, so it's basically a no Chrystarium usage run until the 5th arc. I'll be skipping through a few of these cutscenes, but I just wanted to get that out first. Show a few of the beginning parts of some of these.
So, we all saw the same dream.
Now, obviously, I'm not going to be playing through the entire thing for you guys. I'm just going to be highlighting some important parts. Right here on the Chrystarium tutorial, make sure that you do not follow the tutorial. If you do, then your no Chrystarium usage run is over right there, because it forces you to purchase a node there. So make sure that you don't do that tutorial. Now, one thing before you even get to this point, I want to show you a very important thing to do before you continue on with your quests, and it is way back in the Pulse Vestige. Alright, so back here in Pulse Vestige, there's an area where you can actually go and do an awful lot of really good leveling. Now, what you're doing here is not leveling for CP or for Gil. What you're leveling for are the Shrouds. Now, the first guy you come across, don't do anything, let hope kill him. The reason for this is so that you get a bad battle rating. Now, when you get a bad battle rating, you have a much higher chance of obtaining a Shroud. This guy will drop a Fortisol, I believe, and as long as you don't actually attack with Vanille, you're almost guaranteed to get a Fortisol. See, I get only 3 stars and a Fortisol. Now, go over to this group of Scandroids here. Kill them as quickly as you can. Preemptive, whatever you want. And when you kill these guys, you have a really decent chance of getting a Deceptisol drop. Now, Fortisol, for the uninitiated, increases all of your buffs offensively at the beginning of a battle, and the buffs last for a good minute or so. Same deal with these guys. Try to finish them off as quickly as you can, and you will get a Deceptisol out of it. A Deceptisol allows you to sneak up on an enemy. They won't see you until you're right on top of them, and even then sometimes they don't see you. So this is a really good place to get them, because later on in the game they become almost impossible to find, plus they are extremely expensive. Now, when you're doing a non-Chrystarium usage run, one thing you're really tight on is Gil. In this game, you're generally really tight on Gil anyways, but when you're doing an NCU, basically you don't even want to fight most of the enemies you come across. After you kill those 2 groups, come back to the save point here, and this guy will respawn. Go and use the same method of not fighting him, and you should get another Fortisol. So Gil is really, really, really scarce. Now, I'm going to be doing a secondary roles challenge, so it's not going to be quite as scarce, but it still isn't going to be very plentiful. So this is actually a good idea to do if you're just going to be going through Final Fantasy XIII and you want to do as much power leveling as you can. Might as well stop in here. The guide I have says to get around 30 of each. And there's a few tricks to keep a hold of most of them throughout the entire game. After you defeat this guy, go down the other set of stairs and go and attack these Scandroids. Same deal. Preemptives if you can. Don't worry about it, you're probably going to get a Deceptisol either way. And a preemptive just allows you to do this a little faster. You know, one-hit shot for them.
That wasn't scary at all.
Now, you might be wondering, why am I doing a secondary roles challenge? I think that it's a really cool challenge. Oh yeah, hop over here and get these two guys. The reason I think it's this so cool is that it forces you to think about the characters in ways that you normally wouldn't think about it. For instance, consider what Vanille's secondary roles are. Well, first let's think about her primary role. She's a Saboteur, a Ravager, and a Medic. That means once we are past the 5th arc, we no longer have, or actually once we get there, we no longer have access to any of her main roles. She is no longer your Medic, she is no longer your Ravager, she is no longer your Saboteur. The skills she has available are Commando, Sentinel, and Synergist. And she's not very strong in any of them. She's not supposed to be. Right, so head back around to the save point again here. She's really not supposed to be strong in any of them. But that's kind of the whole point of this. After you get to the save point, come back up here and don't fight this guy again. Meaning attack him, but don't actually do anything. So, sitting around and letting Hope do his stuff. So you end up having only 2 commandos. These 2 right here end up being your only commandos. And you only have 1 Ravager in the entire game. Spoiler alert, if you guys have not seen or played Final Fantasy XIII, you might want to watch my Let's Play of it. It's on the same channel, and it's actually a pretty good Let's Play if I do say so myself. Anyways, spoiler, the only Ravager that we have available to us is Fang. So, head back here to the save point and save. And then, after you're done saving, you're going to want to quit. So basically you have 3 attackers. You have Fang, Hope, and Vanille. Everyone else is doing only their supporting roles. As for medics, you have, if I can remember, Snow, Fang, and Saz, I think, are your only 3 medics. So you have to worry about that as well. And this whole leveling thing only takes around 6 or 7 minutes per loop. You can get a good 3 or 4 of each if you're lucky. You may even get a little bit... No, 3 or 4 of each is about the maximum. You can get 3 Fortisol and 4 Deceptisol maximum per round, and if you're lucky, that's what you'll get. It took me probably about an hour or 2 to go through here and get the 30 of each that I wanted. And it's not that bad. In the rest of this area, you can also pick up more from random battles, but this is the best spot for leveling it up, as far as I've found. So just kill this guy and you get yourself another Fortisol. And if you take a look here, I have 31 Fortisol and 30 Deceptisol. Alright, so now we're back in Lake Brescia. Just putting a power wristband on Snow here. There are a few tricks, as I said earlier, to keep as many Deceptisols as you possibly can. I'm going to show you one right here. What you do is you get close to them and you equip a Deceptisol. Then you run past them, and once you see that the red area up in the map goes away, you come back and you fight them. Now what you do is you just quit and retry. It will put you on the opposite side of the enemy, and it will give you back your Deceptisol. This is really useful when you're coming up against really strong enemies that you really cannot afford to fight. So here we come up to our first boss battle in our secondary roles challenge. First real one. I mean, Anima was a boss, obviously, but he doesn't really count because that's before you even get a hold of your paradigm system. Now, this battle should be pretty close to what you would expect from a normal run-through. You know, here's some good good paradigms to have. I would suggest instead of that second Relentless Assault to have a Tri-Disaster with all 3 people as Ravagers. Another thing I would suggest is to unequip Snow's accessories, because you won't get you won't be able to use him for quite a while afterwards.
Sarah.
Sarah! Sarah. I'll get you out of there.
That's one of my favorite cutscenes. It's hard to skip some of these. Anyways, although this hasn't changed very much from the first time you would play through this, it has changed enough. Your health is significantly lower, so in any of his really devastating attacks really knock a huge chunk out of your health. One thing you really want to look out for is Crystal Rain. Now, thankfully in this I stagger him before he actually gets a chance to get it off. Right here you see I stagger him right before it hits. If he gets both of his Crystal Rain attacks off and Lightning has just a little bit of health gone, he very well might kill her right there. I know this because I went back through and took off Snow's accessory and played through it about 10 times and didn't get quite as lucky with that. So yeah, instead of going to Relentless, you may want to switch to Tri-Disaster to get his stagger gauge up faster. One thing I'm showing here is how if you you can pre-fill a gauge basically. Once you fill a gauge up fully, I'm talking about your attack gauge or battle gauge, whatever you want to call it. Once you fill it up fully with that particular paradigm, then it is more or less charged, I guess would be a good word for it. When you switch back to it, you'll see like this one here, she already had a full charged ATB gauge already waiting for her. That's a very useful thing to have, and I think my guide calls it paradigm cancelling or something like that. It allows you to get almost double your attacks in within a short amount of time. So this guy, he shouldn't pose too much trouble for you. If he does, just retry, and if you need to, equip Snow's accessories back again. See you guys next time.